Good evening and welcome to Mountain Bears. I'm Aeson. And of course, with you tonight is the Techie with Moses, Techie Joe. How are you, darling?
I'm here. How about you?
Oh, I'm just boltering along.
You're what?
Hello, replay crew. How are you? It has been a busy week. We'll continue to be busy. We get job reports in. The Dow just kind of went, there's job reports. Let's drop a little. It might be bad.
It does do that every once in a while.
It does that all the time, but at the same time, I'm looking at it going, everywhere I look, there's a help wanted sign. What's the problem?
Properly compensating employees for doing work, which tends to make investors really squeamish because less money for them in profit or in dividend.
Well, true. I mean, that's a problem. My other thought on it is like, why not just have independent contractors? Fine, you don't have to do compensation. You can negotiate wages with everybody.
Well, you can.
Yeah.
Though typically, and here's my positive for the gig economy concept is the potentiality that when when you start running your own business,
right,
you don't last long,
right,
if you are going low wage,
right,
because there becomes a very quick point, I'm not making enough,
right,
and you very quickly start abandoning contracts,
right,
that are like, this doesn't even cover me,
right.
Like, you can't even. It was like, it cracked me up years ago, and it was a volunteer coordinator position that had a stipend of $16,000 a year and an expectation that you only worked like 2 hours a day.
Right.
And I'm just sitting here going, Like, let me tell you how quickly that volunteer program would have turned to garbage at 2 hours a day.
Well, 2 hours a day isn't bad. $16,000 a year, that's $1,000.
Oh, no, it sounds great. It sounds great.
Right.
But the actual hours were closer to 45 a week.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, okay, well, that's interesting. So, yeah.
Quite interesting indeed. So there's a farmer that is going, that, really should have been paying more attention to his taxes.
Okay, so farmer owes $82,000 in contract dispute over use of a thumbs up emoji, judge says. So a Canadian farmer owes $82,000 for breach of contract after using a thumbs up emoji in a text, according to court documents from the King's Bench for Saskatchewan. In March 2021, grain purchasers with Southwest Terminal Limited sent a text message to grain suppliers wanting to buy flax for $17 per bushel for delivery in October, November, or December of that year. After phone calls with farmers Bob and Chris Atcher, SWT drafted a contract for Chris Atcher to sell SWT 86 metric tons of flax for $17 a bushel and deliver the flax in November. The SWT rep signed the contract in ink and then sent a photo of the contract via cell phone to Chris Atcher, along with a message, "Please confirm flax contract." Atcher responded with a thumbs up emoji, according to the documents. Atcher never delivered the flax in November 2021, according to the documents. By November, the price of flax was $41 per bushel. The SWT representative said in court documents he had done at least 4 other contracts with Atcher via text. He said the only difference this time was Atcher responded with a thumbs up emoji instead of okay, yup, or looks good. According to Atcher in the court documents, he confirmed the thumbs up emoji simply confirmed that I received the flax contract. It was not a confirmation that I agreed with the terms of the flax contract. The terms and conditions of the flax contract were not sent to me, and I understood that the complete contract would follow by fax or email for me to review and sign. Mr. Mickleborough regularly texted me, and many of the messages were informal. Atcher's counsel said in the documents allowing a simple thumbs up emoji to signify identity and acceptance would open up the floodgates to allow all sorts of cases coming forward asking for interpretations as to what various different emojis mean.
Right.
Oh, and unfortunately, I'm having a little trouble. Okay, with the emoji, it's basically it goes through different emojis and like, what does this mean? And what would that have meant? So basically, the courts would be inundated with all kinds of cases if this court finds that the thumbs up emoji can take the place of a signature. Atcher also said he would never sign a contract for product without including an act of God clause, according to court documents. The judge said it appears the deal was at least verbally struck, according to the documents. He wrote, "I am satisfied on the balance of probabilities that Chris okayed or approved the contract just like he had done before, except this time he used a thumbs up emoji. In my opinion, when considering all the circumstances that meant approval of the flax contract and not simply that he had received the contract and was going to think about it, in my view, a reasonable bystander knowing all of the background would come to the objective understanding that the parties had reached consensus ad item, a meeting of the minds, just like they had done on numerous other occasions." So he ruled that Atcher owed SWT $82,000 plus interest and costs for failing to deliver the flax. Flax.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. That's a fun case. So,
well, I think it's an interesting case of debate here. I mean, because here's an example. Recently, within the past 2 years, Slack has become a thing. It has its own emoji setup.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know what those emojis are to actually use them properly in a corporate environment. But apparently, thumbs up is now, I agree.
Yes. Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just sitting here going, which is funny because I remember being in a class and having a professor, and it was like, hi, talk about the early aughts of
right.
the early 2000s.
Right.
I sent an email, and I used a smiley face in it,
mm-hmm.
and I actually got a response back that included, "What is that?"
Mm-hmm.
And I had to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
And then get told that wasn't very professional.
Right.
So, okay, Mrs. 75 words on a slide.
Mm-hmm.
Which was a slide about not using more than 35 words on a slide. Anywho. Fun professor, let me tell you.
Right.
And it was not ironic. She just really didn't catch the fact that she was creating a slide about only using 35 words on a slide that had 75 words on the slide.
Right.
But yeah, No. Yeah. So, but no, there's, I on one hand find this extremely frightening that one could simply be held. I mean, granted, like the judge is kind of going narrow with this and saying it was at least a verbal contract,
Mm-hmm.
um, even though it was not quote unquote formal. I just find it really frightening that we're going to take a thumbs up as being in lieu of signature.
Mm-hmm.
That seems.
Yeah.
I,
That's a little much. It's a reach. It's a reach.
yeah, I think this would have been a case that would have been much better presented
Mm-hmm.
or decided on the fact there was a prior conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Which, I mean, some of that is there, it sounds like, but it really seems like it came down to the thumbs up.
Well, he had done business with this company before. They had prior contracts with the same merits.
Well, and here's my malfunction is, did all of those other situations result in an actual signed contract, or was
Right.
this just par for the course?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like a lot is hinging on this, like snapped a photo of a contract
Right.
and sent it, not even the full contract, just one page.
Right.
I,
Yeah.
I would really hate to see businesses start thinking that this was a legitimate way to fully execute a contractual agreement.
Right.
That no, no. Please no. Contract by emoji. Or what's our next emoji? A little like X and a pen writing squiggles, so that we can just be like sign. Like, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That one sits wrong.
Right.
So
It'll be interesting. It'll play a high demand of interest on how this carries over to the U.S. His contracts are pages and pages and pages and pages. But the American population accept them all the time. Click that check mark. Check mark, sign in. Check mark this. Check mark that.
well, and some of this, yes.
Right.
And some of those are in user license agreement kind of situations
Right.
in which there's a secondary part of it is it's not just that you click here to agree.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that contract is written to where just using the site
Right.
or just using the software is indicative that you are in agreement with the terms and conditions.
Right.
And generally does not result in lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
Generally speaking.
Right.
We've been clicking that for, like, say, Microsoft Windows for a good couple of decades now.
Right.
I'm not really fearful my use of Windows is going to result in my prosecution.
Right.
Like, I don't think I'm going to screw that up too bad.
Right.
So, and it's just kind of a general, we reserve the right to sue you or we require you only use the product in certain ways. So, okay, thank you. Like, don't reverse engineer our shit. Don't, blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
Don't copy it onto 50 computers, etc.
Right.
And there are some things that it basically boils down to, like, labels on the side of a ladder.
Right.
Like, you were warned.
Yes.
You can't sue us for any of the following.
Right.
And then the proof goes into you could use the software, so you had to hit agree.
Right.
So that's one thing I don't know that in actual like a business, a true business document says that we really want to be accepting emojis.
Right.
So
it'll be interesting. It always plays a game part, I'll tell you that.
Oh yes.
All right, I have to go grab something real fast.
All right, so you want me to launch into CNET?
Yes, let's launch up into CNET.
All right, so CNET brings us, do your iPhone a favor and clear your cache. Clearing your iPhone cache every month can help keep your mobile browsers fresh and keep your web browsing snappy. Your iPhone does a lot for you. It offers access to social media, email, and answers to unexpected burning questions wherever you go. But what do you do for your iPhone? You probably move it back and forth between your pocket or purse and a hard, flat surface. Maybe you've even made it suffer the being dropped in the toilet. It happens. Just like every other piece of tech, your iPhone benefits from a little TLC, especially if your browsing starts to feel sluggish over time. Keep your iPhone 14 Pro, Pro Max, or any other model moving as fast as possible by clearing your cache every month. It only takes a few seconds. Whether you use Chrome, Safari, or other browsers on your iPhone, your cache builds up digital clutter over time. Clearing your cache gives the browser a new start, which can speed up your web surfing even on iOS 16.5 or the upcoming iOS 17. Someone is keyword stuffing.
Yes, but there's an even bigger point here. I find this to be the biggest bitch I tell people.
Clear your cache.
Clear your cache.
Clear your cache. Do it again. Clear your cache.
Please clear your cache. Please clear your cache. Please clear your cache. Please power down your device and start over.
Yeah. So, oh goodness. So, for Safari, open settings on your iPhone. Select Safari from the list of apps. Go to Clear History and Website Data. Clear History and Data. And in Chrome, select the three dots at the bottom right to open more options. Choose Clear Browsing Data. Clear Browsing Data. Select the intended time range at the top of the menu, anywhere from last hour to all time. Make sure that cookie site data is selected along with cached images and files and hit Clear Browsing Data. And then if you're using Firefox on your iPhone, I'm going to tell you to get Bet.
Okay, please define that.
In terms of, are you seriously using Firefox on your iPhone? Really? Really? Is anyone?
Well, possibly. You know, there are some that are stuck there.
Yes, please close the 20 plus open windows. Do you know how many people I had to show that things aren't really closed? Yes. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine, Brenda.
And yes, Aeson Knight has joined Threads.
What is Threads?
Oh, well, Threads is Meta's answer to Twitter.
Oh, God. One more product from Meta. Ugh. Can we not?
No, here we go.
Ugh.
Sorry. That's why I was like, I have to go get this now.
What?
People are actually stealing people's ID. Well, stealing their names.
Meta's Threads up in social media in less than 48 hours. In less than 48 hours, Meta's Twitter rival Threads has surpassed 70 million signups, upended the social media landscape, and appears to have rattled Twitter enough that it's now threatening legal action against Meta. But even as users signed up for Threads in droves, with some clearly eager to flee the chaos of Elon Musk's Twitter, the sudden success of Meta's app could raise a new set of concerns. Meta has long been criticized for its market dominance and for allegedly trying to choke off competition by copying and killing rival applications. Now, some competition experts and even some Threads users worry that if the new app's traction continues, it may simply lead to the accumulation of even more power and dominance for Meta and its CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. The prospect of total monopoly by Meta, yikes, wrote one user. It's a real problem for society when a few dozen people and companies own every single thing so that no alternative paradigms can exist and they don't co-opt from the cradle. Good God. Oh, Twitter had always been much smaller than Meta's platforms, but it had an outsized influence in tech, media, and politics. As Twitter faltered under Musk, though, a cottage industry emerged of smaller apps trying to capture some of its magic. Now, more than any of them, Meta seems best positioned to claim the crown. Threads' blockbuster launch this week highlights the uncomfortable reality of the modern digital economy. To potentially beat some of the biggest players in the industry, you might have to be a giant yourself.
And we are.
Oh, the overnight success of Threads is a testament both to the dissatisfaction with Musk's ownership of Twitter and to the unique power and reach of one of Meta's most important properties, Instagram.
Uh-huh.
Oh. Oh.
So, yes, Aeson Knight is on Threads. Aeson Knight Zodiac is on Threads. Aeson Knight King is on Threads. Psychic Coaching You is all at Threads. Feel free to follow along. If you were previously followed, then you're already being followed over on Threads and just got an invite. While we all wait for blue skies.
Well, there you go. Good grief.
What? Now
I'm sorry. I'm just getting tired of new social media platforms.
Uh-huh.
What is this one supposed to be about?
This is Instagram.
Like, is it literally just Twitter reimagined?
Yes.
Fucking A.
With photos.
Ooh. So it's another Instagram?
No, you can actually just do text posts.
Ooh.
It does not have to have a photo.
So literally they could have just allowed one more feature in Instagram and called it a day.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, they created a whole other platform.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were up to date and clarified.
Yeah. Yep. It looks to be very nice, very streamlined, very confusing. Like, are you going to be able to simulpost? That'll be
Have they added it to StreamYard yet?
I just checked. I haven't seen it on StreamYard yet.
Oh, come on. Hurry up, StreamYard. We have to be able to post our videos to StreamYard or to Threads now.
Yes.
God. No, I'm sorry. I've had it with, like, it was kind of nice for a minute.
Right.
When some alternative social medias opened up, and I was like, okay, this is the world is young again.
Yeah.
But now it's just like, why? You could have added one feature to Instagram and been done.
Mm-hmm.
Click. How hard? Okay, argumentatively, how hard could it be?
Right.
To allow a text-only post on Instagram. How hard?
Yeah.
Like, how horrifyingly hard-coded did you make it that in every post must have an image?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's been the way it's been. I mean, since the beginning of time.
I don't know. I guess part of it is also like Instagram is Instagram, and you don't want to change the flavor of Instagram, or otherwise you have new Instagram problem.
Well, and see, here's the other problem, and this is the bigger problem, and this is what like, so I got to grab something because when you're in this industry, you got to grab your freaking username, especially if you have influence. All of them.
Well, yes. I still don't. I feel compelled. I don't actually. Like, screw it. You want to be Mystic PC? Go be Mystic PC.
No, I do not want a Chinese porn star having my brand.
I'd kind of be interested to see it.
I wouldn't be.
For Mystic Computers. Yeah, Like,
No.
go ahead, take it. Take
Hmm.
it. If you can use my username,
Mm-hmm.
the handle I have for several, and do well in porn, more power to you. I'll accept it. Get my business name out there.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It'll do more for me.
It may do more for you. It will not do more for me.
Oh, what? I mean, sex sells, man.
Well, I understand sex sells, but that does not sell psychic readings. I don't need some, and please take this with the exact emotion I have for it.
Okay.
Please, I do not need some Pakistani trying to be me somewhere else and creating hell, havoc, and chaos everywhere.
Aeson Knight told me the following. No,
Uh-huh.
I didn't. No, I didn't.
No.
Where did you contact me? Threads.
I don't
even know what that is.
Yes.
No. Well, but then again, you're sitting here going, well, sex doesn't sell psychic readings. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Some of y'all used to buy damn model packs.
Uh-huh.
You trying to sit here and claim sex doesn't sell psychic readings. I mean, it may not be exactly what you end up doing on the phone line.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what the client expects, but it'll definitely run up some minutes in a psychic reading.
It ain't happening.
just
I get paid more than what I get paid for the psychic readings. Thank you very much.
I didn't say you had to be great at it. Like,
Well,
you don't have to offer A1 customer service at those rates.
Uh-huh.
You can be like, no. Here's my rate, and at this rate, you get better housewife.
No.
Let that work for you.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I've got an application in the Blue Sky. It looks kind of cool what I've seen of it. But no, social media is going through a change.
Oh, that's the naked video psychic readings. Oh! See, again, tried to tell him at one point he was missing a job opportunity.
I am not missing a job opportunity. I'm missing a body.
I said, whatever. Whatever.
Yes.
Put it out there. Someone will buy it.
No. Not till I get my body back.
This is the most innocent he has ever actually even pretended to be. I'm surprised he has not been struck by lightning.
Again, once I get that 42 pounds off, then we can discuss it.
Well, okay, fine. You like fans. Get some of those big, giant feather fans that Queen Latifah had for Chicago.
Oh, please. One, I don't have time to wait for them to come from China.
We can go over to the craft store and just get the giant feathers and glue them together. It'll be fine. It'll work.
First of all, they have to be in brand colors, which is blue and gold, and they didn't have them. Second of all, we have to order.
Paint.
You cannot spray paint feathers.
Ugh. Ugh. Oh, Brenda says, someone somewhere is doing it.
I know
I
someone whose
kept
whole
saying
brand
this was
is
a
that.
business idea. I was just saying this is a business idea.
I will even give her a shout out. She's still doing it.
Oh, guys, Bella wanted me to tell you her joke. Oh, here we go.
Bracing for jokes.
Bracing. If you hand her the keyboard, however, and she only types one letter twice, we are going to be cranky. Adding a third or more letters does not make it better. Ooh. I'll let you take that one.
That's cute, darling. That's very cute. Now do me a favor and go and write yourself an essay on why that technically is so wrong.
Yes.
Educate yourself.
500-word essay.
Yes.
I'm not saying it's not funny.
And yes, she is still doing it. Pink Chick Psychic.
So Pink Chick Psychic is your 1-900 spicy psychic.
Yes, she is a spicy psychic. She's been a spicy psychic for years.
Our essay requirement has been met with, it's summer. No.
Well, that's why you don't tell bad jokes in the summer. Yes. I've got a bill that I've been trying to get through the House of Representatives for a while now to make school so you don't have snow days go during the summer.
Here's that.
Yeah. It would also cut down on child care problems, continue the food.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Anyhow.
Oh, Brenda's going with Uncle Aeson said so. Lol.
Well.
Lol.
All right. But no, like any social media that pops up, I try to get my name and all versions of my name so that you're talking to me. By the way, you'll see the smiling face.
It's a real nightmare every time he updates his profile photo, though.
Mm-hmm.
To just have to go through every single account. Like, that's the kind of stuff. Like, you always end up with abandoned accounts. I don't care who you are. Like, if you have a lot of accounts, you're going to start abandoning a few. Like, you'll just forget you have them.
Right.
Like, you have them, you set it up, you walked away.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, they've been trying to do a year-round... Excuse me. They've been trying to do a year-round thing for years here. They have. It's a lovely theory.
It's a lovely theory. Then maybe our test scores would improve. Maybe our children would get education. Maybe other children with secondary educational problems would get the help they need. Oh, yeah, that would be an educational system.
Oh, yeah. There's that. Oh, it's the parents that lose their minds about it. See, I've never gotten that one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would I mean, granted, I get some parts of it is that, to a degree, these are kids. It becomes school is their job.
Mm-hmm.
They get no vacation.
Of course.
There is kind of a need to rest there.
Right.
Because it that's a lot to just keep taking in information.
Right.
It really is. Yeah, the teachers like it, parents flip out, and I'm like, you complain about one paying teachers through summer, even though it's just their usual salary divided up. 2, you complain about childcare, so it even itself out. They were wanting to do something like 6 weeks on, 1 week off. See, now those systems, I think, are where parents may be losing their minds.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means you really have, and your usual holiday vacations too. Yeah, just no big summer break off. But yeah, the 6 on, 1 off, I think would potentially be a little more cumbersome for parents to try to manage.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's going to start out difficult. And no matter what you would do, it's going to start out difficult. And I don't think it ever gets easy, like, no matter how many years you have a kid in school, because the calendar keeps moving. They keep moving days. They keep moving events to fit whatever fits.
Mm-hmm.
And then potentially adding weeks or days or whatever to the calendar because, oh, we had too many snow days. Oh, we had to be closed for this reason.
There was no water here for 3 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it does, I kind of get like that on one hand, but on the other hand, it's like, no, y'all already have that. Like, I'm sorry, I kind of remember the summer we almost didn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Because like we ended up just one snow day after another, after another, after another, after another. And then they had to start eating into the summer calendar to fix it. Because it's like, no, you must have the 180 instructional days per year. And
Right.
It's like, if we have the 180 instructional days in our year, we're never going to leave.
Right.
We will graduate. We will leave this grade level 2 days after the next one starts.
Right.
Like one more snow day.
Yeah.
It was back in the 90s. And I think it was Blizzard in 93. Yeah, Blizzard in 93 that caused all of it. So yeah, it would have been 93.
Right.
And it was nuts. It was the school year that would never end.
Right.
Because it was the winter that would never end.
Mm-hmm.
It just kept going.
All right. Let's go over to Reddit. Kevin, now you're the asshole, or are you taking the choice of the mouse?
I'll take the choice of the mouse.
Awesome.
It's been that kind of day over here.
It has been. It's been a very busy day. You know, we had, Mama Night's cleaning service in today, and apparently that decided to open up the gateways of everything.
Yes, apparently. Like your day didn't stop.
Right.
Yeah. But yay, money.
Yes. And it hasn't stopped. And that's why we're staying on schedule.
We're doing what we can. So, alrighty. What's our magical mousey finding?
Here you go. Coming in.
Drop it. Drop it. Drop that mouse.
There you go.
Drop it. Okay. Oh, da-da-da-da-da. Am I the asshole for refusing to sleep on an air mattress in my own home and forcing my in-laws to? Me and my wife are both 30. My in-laws are both 60 and have bad backs. We live several hours away, so when they come to visit, it's for 3 to 4 nights at a time, which is fine. We have a guest room with a big comfy queen bed that we've used before with no issues. This time, when they arrive, they announce they can no longer sleep together due to snoring issues and need an additional bed, so we set up an air mattress in our office. My wife suggested that we take the air mattress because they're older and have bad backs. I said absolutely not. Otherwise, every time they visit, I'll be kicked out of my own bedroom, and hotels are an option if they truly can't sleep on an air mattress. Am I the asshole?
Plead your case.
I'm going to go with not the asshole. I don't know you're going to convince your in-laws or your wife of this, but you're not the asshole. Like the court of spouses and in-laws will never find in your favor. But I don't think you're wrong. I think that's legitimate. I think that if you're planning your trips to visit someone around the fact that you are going to stay with them, then you are subject to the accommodations they provide. And you've provided decent accommodation.
Mm-hmm. My question is, where's the couch?
Always heard that was a great option. But no, I think demanding 2 beds and no on an air mattress. Yeah, I'm sorry, not the asshole in my opinion.
Yeah.
Again, I don't think you're going to convince your spouse or your in-laws.
Well, here's my thing, and this has always been my thing. When you're staying with someone, you accommodate the best you can. And if there's a snoring issue, why not earplugs?
Yeah. Well, more importantly, there's only so much you expect your host to accommodate. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, and if you're running a bed and breakfast, that's one thing. Like, you have to be able to accommodate a fair amount of things.
Right.
But that's not this.
Right.
It's not this. This is your home. You are more than happy to have them stay, but it should not turn into the equivalent of running a hotel. And oh, we have to go buy another bed. Oh, we have to go do this. Oh, we have to do that. No, there's a limit.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's the moment of, are you the asshole? No. Do you want to keep peace in your family and in your home?
No.
Well, I'm just saying, though, that becomes a question.
Because if your in-laws are visiting that often that they have their own bedroom.
True. Two bedrooms. Or at least 2 beds.
Right, but they have their own bedroom. There's a guest room. You have a guest room when you're in your 30s.
Yeah, no, I really think, though, personally, and I would assume most people would get there on their own, is that no, if you've gotten to this point in things that you need to sleep comfortably,
right,
then you should expect to go get a hotel room.
Right.
Like, there's a limit.
Right.
There's a limit to I think there's a limit to hospitality. Like, some general things are fine.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if someone shows up and forgets, like, a toothbrush and toothpaste and whatever, I expect, most people to have an extra new toothbrush and an extra tube of toothpaste, or reasonably can cough those up.
Right.
I do not, however, expect anyone to be able to just cough up a water pick, an electric toothbrush, and, like, prescription toothpaste.
Right.
Like, there's a line there. Like, one of these is like, okay, it may not be your preferred brand. It may be a cheap-ass toothbrush.
Right.
But, hey, it's a toothbrush and toothpaste. You're fine.
Right.
Versus, like, no, that's a really special accommodation for you in my personal home.
Right.
Like, I can't cough that.
Right.
Like,
all right. So the poll is up. Let's get into this one.
All right, so we have some relationship advice coming up.
Uh-huh.
And I just had to hit yes, I'm over 18.
Uh-huh.
Fun.
I don't see where
All
it's not
right.
safe for work, but okay.
Do what now?
I don't see where it's not safe for work, but okay, let's roll it.
You know? My partner reconnected with an old colleague over coffee, which turned into a date. I feel cheated. My partner reconnected with an old colleague over coffee, which spontaneously turned into a date. I feel cheated. Am I overreacting? How do I move on and repair the relationship? We've been together for 8 years, ethical non monogamous for 2. We don't really have strict rules apart from safe sex and giving each other a heads up about upcoming dates. We rely on continuous communication to establish boundaries and agreements as we go. So far, we've almost exclusively dated people we've met on apps. The only exception was someone my partner made out with after having met them in real life a few months prior. I had a heads up when there was going to be an opportunity for it to happen, and I was totally fine with it. The other day, my partner went for a coffee with an ex coworker they hadn't seen for 5 years. I know my partner finds them attractive, but this coffee was never communicated to me as a date. Just reconnecting with an old coworker. Over 5 hours later, my partner came home giggling and told me straight away that the coffee had turned into a date and they kissed. I got very upset to my partner's surprise. According to them, this was no different to the other person they made out with after having met in real life. Very quickly, though, they apologized and acknowledged that they should have discussed the situation with me prior to making out with this person. I'm still upset. I feel like I give my partner all the freedom and vice versa, but they still want or were willing to break one of the very few agreements we have for the sake of some thrill and making the most out of an exciting situation they found themselves in. Oh, there's more.
Well,
All
stop.
right.
Do not give update.
Okay. Well, how do I move on and repair the relationship?
Okay. So this is where you learn flexibility. Something is no longer fitting the relationship. This happens in straight relationships. This happens in gay relationships. This happens in mono relationships. This happens all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one. I like dinner on the table at about 5 o'clock. We recently discovered that Joe is pre-programmed from childhood to have dinner on the table at 7. But if dinner
Hey,
hits
I
the
don't want to
table
hear
at
it.
midnight, it hits the table at midnight.
I don't want to hear it. Your definition of 5 o'clock is 5 a.m.
Yes.
That's when he wants dinner on the table is 5 in the morning. You're getting 7 p.m., buddy. Like, don't know what's wrong with you. But yes, I am pre-programmed from childhood that dinner is at 7.
You're right. Actually, what your program was dinner come on before Jeopardy.
Technically, yes. Yeah, the target is 7 p.m. If we overshoot it by like 25, 30 minutes,
Right.
Like we're still okay, but once we get into past the opening and everyone's introduction of Jeopardy, okay, now we've gone too far.
Right.
Like when we start taking questions off the board.
But that's the fun part, is deciding when to take questions off the board.
Oh, Ryan says you're a creature of the night.
Duh. Ryan, get with the pendulum's path. She is on the committee to have me declared vampirial. See if you can't help her along that path.
Mm-hmm. Or you can talk with, Brenda. I think they're setting up my sainthood. Oh, wait, no.
That's David.
That's David.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't sure who was officially leading that.
Right.
They can co-chair. I'm fine with that.
But, point being, in general, is that, overall, relationships need to be flexible. If things get concrete, you got a problem.
Yeah.
especially when the shoe's no longer fitting.
Well, and sometimes and I think what makes this one worse is probably the fact that they are doing this contract base,
right?
But they're not.
Right.
Like it's all verbal.
Right.
Like basically that's included there. It's all verbal.
Right.
Yeah. See, I went off, and I'll call it that. I went off on someone recently about all the problems I have with hierarchical polyamory.
Right.
Which mostly boils down to this theory, because usually hierarchical also becomes contract based.
Right.
And within that, all this sounds great and works when you're talking about a person.
Yeah.
You are going to have sex with a person. Your spouse, your partner, your whomever is going to have sex with a person. Just imagine big A, big P person. And so you start creating all these rules, and you start creating all these ideas of what that's going to look like, and you argue back and forth about any things that you're not comfortable with.
Right.
In regards to a person.
Right.
Motherfuckers, please start giving that person a real human name.
Right.
Please, 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 please give that person a name and a face and an identity. And the reason I say that is because we sit here and talk about a person, and we start creating an impossible person and an impossible situation that you're walking them into.
Right.
Stop doing it.
Yeah.
Stop doing it. Think about this person. Think about, is this reasonable for Carol?
Right.
Should we expect Carol to come in and deal with this shit?
Right.
What about Carol's wants and needs? What about what makes Carol happy?
Right.
Let's have a whole conversation from Carol's perspective
after
we get through our own nonsense.
Right.
And then figure out, okay, how much of this is literally, cutting off our nose to spite our face?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the other thing is what's due. Okay? What I mean by what's due. All he did was kiss an ex-coworker. Okay? Is it worth the argument? Is it worth the discomfort? Is it worth the, oh my God, he cheated on me? He could have skipped coffee, went to the adult bookstore, and pulled 2 trains simultaneously.
Well, and then again, sometimes you have to also, I think if you're doing this with your inner lawyer engaged, well, the technical terms and conditions of our agreement state. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Right.
Really? Really?
Right.
Really? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm all down for dating a lawyer or a doctor. But if I have to hit the, approach the witness stand, or I have to go onto the operating table every time we have an argument,
right?
No, I'm out. Like, thank you very much. Next,
right?
No.
Right.
I'm done. Because really, there's letter of the law and spirit of the law.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, follow the spirited idea of there. It sounds like the partner of OP has a general okay, yes, this went a little further than it should have. It stopped before it went too far.
Well, here's my thing. You knew he was having coffee with an ex-coworker he found attractive.
Really? How much more did you need? Did you need a bouncy ball?
Did you need a plan? Did you need to know the hotel room number? Did you need a phone call? it comes to a point of tell as soon as possible.
Like, yeah, your non-monogamy, your polyamory, your contractual agreement should not work like a game of Mother May I.
Right.
If you hit that, and that's what it feels like, and that's what it seems like, and I will tell you right now, your spouse thinks it seems like that.
Right.
They may not have articulated it yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be the boil down of it. What the impending explosion you are approaching.
Right. Especially if you're going to influence it this deeply. You know, if it was more than this, then I would have a problem. Because there was an agreement of that.
Well, in 5 hours is a while, and a lot can be done in 5 hours. And, you know, your spouse could have ended up showing up 3 days later.
2 months.
You know, married.
With children.
You know, with a child on the way.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Like, that would have been far, far, far too far.
Right.
Like, no one would have gotten that out of the conversations it sounds like you had.
Right.
But yes, this got a little hairier than I think your spouse thought it would.
Right.
And they stopped before it got out of the woods of like way, way past a little hairy to like, holy hell, we saw Bigfoot.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think this is reasonable, and I think that's the kind of expectation you should have. Is that no, you can't lay out every situation. You can't plan for every eventuality.
Right.
You just kind of have to go with this is the general theory.
Right.
Things happen.
Right. All right. So let's see if they fix the problem, do we?
Alrighty. So the update. Thanks for your comments. We're ditching the heads up rule. We'll see how that goes. I feel good about it. However, I still need to work through my discomfort about my partner potentially seeing this person again. What I didn't mention is that all three of us used to work at the same place, and that shared history might be part of what's making me uncomfortable. However, that was for a very short period and a long time ago, and this person isn't in any of mine or my partner's social circles at present, so there's no argument for having them on any kind of messy lists. Anyway, as some of you pointed out, it's all a learning opportunity. Yeah. I don't know that they really got it 100%. Like,
yeah, but here's the other page of this: is you got to look at those rules and go, are they working? It's kind of like recently there's been a large psychological shift in this house.
Okay.
You're handling the cooking, the shopping. Invisible has took on more things. Mama Night's cleaning service is back. I'm working more on a very set, stringent schedule. We're keeping a lot more things fluid. That's a large shift in responsibilities. That's a large shift in communication. I mean, today I put together a house management planner.
Yes.
Also known as the housekeeper.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I think we should have 3-hole punched and put in a trapper keeper.
Okay.
Then it really would be the housekeeper.
Okay.
I will spend money for a pun. I really, truly will. I will spend money for a pun.
Do you know how expensive those trapper keepers are?
I know. Well, not like vintage.
Okay.
That cheap craft they could slap the trapper keeper label on and now sell to children.
Okay.
Like maybe. Those that no.
But then it doesn't work into the discount system. But we had to have this debate because all the business planners, all my planners are currently in classic size.
Yes. And you were like, should we print it big? And I'm like, would you like your mother to be able to read it?
Right. So I had to reformat a lot of things.
Like, it seems so obvious to me. I was like, why are we even having this conversation?
Well,
It's
because
like,
you can still do big text and a classic size. That's not the problem.
I know, but how annoyed is she going to be with a 15-page list?
Well, it was only 3, but at the same time,
Full size, it's 3 pages.
yes.
But keep the text big, shrink it down, it would be like 15.
No, not at all. We're only losing 20%. Most of that's margin. But anyhow, point being is I was like, guys, this is where we're at. We have everything in planners. I don't have to store shit in my brain. I don't have to worry about what dinner is about. All I've got to do is go in and sit down and work.
Yep.
And boy, did I work. But anyhow, it's just like that's the flexibility of this relationship. Because if we look at the dichotomy, we were in 2 houses managing 2 household setups, 2 household management systems, with 2 heads of household having to meet in the middle and try to have a relationship with debating the price of power, which can be
and you eternally getting mad because the power at the house in Princeton was so much cheaper.
Exactly.
All the utilities were.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I was paying more for was garbage collection.
And cable.
Yeah, a little bit more for cable.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah. So we've gone through this systematical shifting and changing, and it's kind of like I got to looking at the bill planner today, and everything else is auto pay. I don't have to write another check this month.
Mm-hmm. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
I know. Pretty soon, I'll only write 2 checks a month.
I know. And then you'll get really... Oh, here's the side thing I should go ahead and warn you about.
Okay.
Like, when you pay all the bills ahead,
you
will do this consistently for months, maybe even years on end. And then it happens.
Okay.
1 month in your future, you will have a moment where you have done this so consistently that all of a sudden you get a bill in the mail. And it has a past due balance. You can go, there's no fucking way. I know I paid that bill. And then you will spend 45 minutes going back and forth through the checkbook, through the banking statement, through everything you can think of, trying to figure out where the bill got paid at.
Well, see, I'm going to do a little bit different than that.
Okay.
I'm going to have it auto pay out of one specific account. All I got to do is do a transfer once a month.
Yep. But no, I had that moment paying my grandmother's bills. It was interesting. Like I sat there and I about drove myself crazy. Because I'm like, I know it. I can see it in my brain writing that check. I never paid the bill.
Again, I couldn't find it all of them auto drafted.
Well, but here's the part and why it took so long. I could not find the bill. I could not find a check for it. I looked through bank statements going, well, maybe I had to do something crazy. The bill didn't. I honestly think it was that one time we like somehow it got thrown away, somehow it didn't show up in the mail, whatever. And I sat down with all the bills to pay them when I normally pay them.
Right.
And I just went through and just, bill, check, put it together. Bill, check, put it together. Bill, check, put it together. And it never dawned on me that, oh, wait, where's the bill for, and I think ours, it was the power. No, it was the gas bill.
Right.
And I was just mortified when I got that bill in. And I called them, and I was mad.
Right.
I was like, you didn't apply my last payment. And they're like, we haven't received a payment since this date. And I said, well, that's impossible. I don't know. It blew my mind. Like, how does this happen?
Right.
It's like I write the same number of checks each month.
Mm-hmm.
I do this every single month. How did I miss one?
Right.
And the only thing I can come up with is that's got to be one that just we didn't get it in the mail.
Right.
We got it in the mail, but somehow it got put up somewhere and or thrown away, which, having cleaned the house, we never did find an unpaid bill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm at a loss. I don't know how the hell it happened, but it sure as hell happened and drove me crazy.
Mm-hmm. And this is why we have a planner that gets highlighted when every bill clears, even if it's an automated bill.
I had a little planner. Did you not see the little planner?
Mm-hmm.
It was cute and adorable.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, guys, I will be on all tomorrow. I'll be on later tonight. And you can join us for Psyche the Plans on Sunday, where hopefully you'll see a planner that's prepped and ready for you. We'll see. You'll also see the additions to my planner. Yes, you may notice some similarities to a Franklin Covey.
Very nifty, very nifty. So you're going to have the housekeeper?
I don't know if I want to decorate the housekeeper.
Okay.
I'll at least show off the housekeeper.
All right, show off the housekeeper.
Right.
All right.
All righty.
So where's that pole? Hey, where's the pole?
Oh, yes, pole. 100% no, you're not the asshole for maintaining your own bed.
There you go. Good job. Good job. I feel everyone voted properly.
Yes.
Well done. All right. So, of course, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda, Shannon C, Shannon D, Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Tracy Van, Caitlin Bell, and Devin. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
And no, Brandon, not showing off Mama Night. Now, Mama Night is going to join us for one barista chat. I will announce it in the barista chat when I can get Mama Night on camera. But that is a barista benefit.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And this is the first time he's ever actually named a planner created.
Yes.
Maybe we should have just called it Florence.
No.
What?
I don't want her dry meatloaf.
Oh, come on. She's a great housekeeper.
She's a terrible cook. George Jefferson said so.
I was talking about the housekeeper from the Brady Bunch.
No.
Oh, no, that's Alice. Oh, my God, I got my housekeepers backwards. Jesus.
10 points from Gryffindor.
Yeah, I know. It just hit me, Brenda.
Florence was George Jefferson's housekeeper.
And I think Maud's.
Possibly.
One of them.
I know.
Maud had 3.
Yep. I'll talk at you later. Bye, guys.
Bye.